Mic is on. Welcome to Remember When, a podcast about the moments that made us.
Ooh, back in the day, I remember when I bought my first car in 2004. My first CD my brother bought for me was KBCD. Oh, Beautiful Vibration. And that song we used to play with my brother was the Oh Allah. Oh Ale Allah. Oh la le la la. Dum dum. La 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 le. Ay. La 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 la. Ay, I remember back in the day. And me and my brother, we used to like jive like you won't believe in this song. And I'm telling you, I was driving, but I was like dancing. Oh, back in the day. Oh, I remember those days. Lovely days indeed.
Remember when buying music was a whole experience? Growing up at Teguini, the Musica branches at Game City and Musgrave Center was the closest thing to magic for me. Like when I wasn't on the sports field, I'd be at a Musica counter either learning lyrics to songs I'd heard on Top 40 radio, or I was counting my coins to see what I could afford while I was there. You know, that whole embarrassing experience of like, can we help you, sir? Oh no, I'm just browsing. Counting my coins just to see what I could afford. My parents had finally bought us a hi-fi set, and the neighbors quickly found out. I remember once, quickly after that, my father took me to Musica, back when the Game City visit was still our weekend ritual. I didn't browse too much that day because I knew exactly what I was looking for. My first ever CD, KB Motilinyane's Beautiful Vibrations. When I tell you, I think I've owned about 5 copies of this album. It was stolen. I once sat on a copy and I broke it, obviously. And the third copy, I think, was just so worn that it started cutting out after every 5 seconds. I have no clue what happened to the fourth one. This copy specifically was a result of me begging and pleading with KB's team and her friends for so long before it eventually obviously came onto streaming platforms, that is. And even though it's been signed and there's a bit of a message written in here, like I definitely don't believe it was written by her, but I still appreciated the gesture, you know. But the memories just come flooding back every time I think about this CD. Just joyriding around in Duzuma and Guamashu, Nasenanda, Nenganza Sekaya, you know, it meant everything to me. And when I think of it, I think back to Musica. Now, Musica wasn't just a store, it was a cultural landmark. And at its peak, I think something around 2010, it was pulling in nearly R1 billion in sales. And CDs were about 60% of Musica's business. They had about 140 stores around the country, and they were voted the coolest music store by an entire generation. For a while, they even had about 60% of the CD market in the country. But as the world digitized, as streaming platforms grew and phones became jukeboxes, Musica began to fall behind. By 2015, turnover started dipping 10 to 15% per year, and fewer people were buying physical media. Fewer still were walking into malls to feel music. And then by 2020, just before the COVID pandemic, Musica had only about 78 stores left. And then when the pandemic hit and the stores and the malls were emptying, that was the final blow. By 2021, Musica was gone, done. Never to return again. The Clicks Group, which owned Musica, called it an inevitable demise of a heritage brand, and I call it the end of a ritual. We don't go to music anymore, it comes to us. But there was something about choosing a CD, reading the sleeve, reading the dedications, reading all the credits, and just holding an album that changed you, that you'd save up for. That had weight. So Musica gave us all of that, and to some extent, I miss it. The same way I miss physical copies of books. Anyway, this has been a Memory Lane mini from Remember When with Andy Lindlovu. If you remember your first CD or what it felt like to walk into a Musica or any other music store, send me a voice note. Let's keep the archiving of these memories together going. Also, if I can I ask you to subscribe, to share the content. I can't wait to get this podcast going and to keep it consistent. I owe it to myself, and I think I owe it to the people who have been asking me for a while now to revive this podcast. So until next time.